Dear Princess Sunbutt, Letter Bundle 2, Letter 11.
Dear Princess Celery, today I learned that doing dangerous shit to show people that you're strong is not a good idea. It doesn't make you look strong, it makes you look dumb. My friends were talking about who was the strongest, and they all agreed I'm the weakest, which I clearly am. I wasn't happy with them knowing the truth, so I wanted to prove myself the first chance I got. That first chance involved Applesauce's barn. She needed help fixing a support beam, so my genius ass thought it was the perfect time to be strong. I tried holding up the entire roof by myself. No magic. Applejack said to use magic, but I'm dumb and purple, and I'm also injured now, but it's only a bruised hip. As a side note, we got the barn fixed after I stopped being a dumbass and actually used the bone wand sticking out of my forehead. Your limping biscuit, Twiggly Wiggly.
From Her Royal Hotness Celery, RE Letter 11.
To my most faithful student, Twilight Sparkle, I'm glad to hear that you've safely returned home to Ponyville and are spending more time with your friends. On the note of those friends, every pony has strengths and weaknesses, and the strengths of some are not those of others. That is perfectly alright, and it is not something to be ashamed of. I'm very sorry to hear you were injured learning an important lesson about utilizing one's strengths wisely. I look forward to seeing you again for tea. Your loving mentor, Princess Celestia. P.S. Anon, thank you for returning my sister's property promptly. I'm not entirely sure how it ended up in your possession, but Luna turned a most interesting shade when she realized she had forgotten it.
Letter 12.
Dear Princess Buttburn, today I learned that being jealous of other people's happiness turns you into an unlikable ball of anti-fun. On a normal day, it takes me a hot minute to suck the fun out of a room, but today I managed to do it in exactly 6 seconds. Buttershush and I were supposed to hang out alone at the library today so I could try getting her to mash snatches with me, though I publicly deny such accusations. Anyway, right as I was about to reach second base, in walks Pinkaponk. She and Butter starts having a good time talking about family and shit, so I put an end to that real quick by reminding them that I'm the sister of a prince. They stopped talking and immediately realized how autistic I am. I did the apology thing and we had a grand old time. Your horniest hornicorn, Tim Tam.
From Her Royal Hotness Burnbutt, RE Letter 12.
To my most faithful student, Twilight Sparkle, I'm pleased to hear that you've had a chance to spend some time with Fluttershy and Pinkie Pie recently, and even more, had the opportunity to share some stories from your past. I do understand it can be tempting to attempt to get attention back on oneself when they were anticipating a bit of one-on-one time, but it is always good to remember that another friend visiting unexpectedly is just an opportunity for more fun and quality time. Or, if you truly do wish to have a bit of time without, it's best to find a good moment and make your feelings clear in a polite and friendly manner. I have taken the liberty of including the checklist you forgot yesterday during tea time, and look forward to our next meeting. We seem to be doing a bit better since we resumed our talks. Your loving mentor, Princess Celestia. P.S. I have included on the back of your checklist a few communication titles I believe you may find interesting. Dear Anon, I believe I already told you that I'm familiar with my students' proclivities. Penned by Her Royal Hotness Celestia.
Letter 13.
Dearest Princess Celestia, ruler of Equestria, raiser of the sun. Greetings, it is I, Twilight Sparkle, the elements of magic. You will be pleased to know that my recent quest to out a small changeling hive has resulted in complete and total victory for Equestria and its ponies. I have preemptively taken care of all matters relating to the surrounding towns and the potential changeling spies within them. All of the changelings are gone, and the ponies are completely safe, so there's no need for you to watch this region any longer. Your most loyal subject and defender of Equestria, Twilight Sparkle.
From Her Royal Hotness Celestia to ASD 413.
To Field Agent Sweetie Drops, also to Active Group 413. Primary interest purple spackle is to be considered in the green and should be treated as such immediately. Authorization for countermeasures A through 1 through E through 9 is given. Secondary objectives include the other targets: Shush, Fruit, Rapid, Shiny, Bouncy, and Monkey. Tertiary objectives include, should this to be a false alarm, the removal of all caffeinated beverages from Twilight's home, and a temporary royal do not serve order on Asset Monkey effective immediately for all caffeinated beverages in the next month. Royal Guard squadrons will be en route within 4 hours of this communication, or upon request, whichever is sooner. This message will self-destruct. Respond as soon as prudent. Her Royal Hotness Celestia.
Letter 13.5.
Dear Princess Celestia. Sorry, that last one was a joke. Please call off the guards. Twilight is terrified, which is funny and all, but she doesn't know that I sent that letter. Sorry for the trouble. I didn't think it would get out of hand so quickly. Love, a non-changeling.
From Tia, RE Letter 13.5.
Dear Anon, humor is well and good, and I understand that you feel a need to have a bit of fun at the expense of others from time to time, but some pranks are both unsafe and unwise to perpetuate. I've taken the liberty of arranging for your punishment in advance, should it have been discovered that you are behind this. The guards will remain for 72 hours as a per standard procedure. I suggest that you behave and act in accordance with your supposed fuck monkey genius until they leave, or I swear by my sister, I will ensure you will never be allowed coffee in this country again. Penned angrily by Her Royal Highness Celestia. P.S. I'm glad you and Twilight are alright.
Letter 14.
Dear Princess Toasty Tush, today I fucked up. No lesson, no personal growth on my part, just a fat wad of I made an oopsie. Go fast, hit a tree, and got a massive shiner out of it. She had a big flight competition coming up, and she didn't want to fly in front of everyone looking like she lost a fight, so I offered to fix it. In my defense, she agreed immediately, so we're both idiots. Anyway, my forte lies in destroying literally anything. Healing is the exact opposite of that, so I'm sure you can see where this is going. Long story short, she's blind now. It's cool though, it's only temporary. Actually, that makes me realize there was a lesson to be learned. Don't do things that you don't know that you're good at, especially when there's a chance for serious bodily harm. Your medical malpractitioner, Booty Butt Jr.
From Her Royal Hotness Toasty Tush, RE Letter 14.
Dear Ponyville General, it has come to my concern that a royal asset may have exaggerated the injuries to one Rainbow Dash. Included is a royal voucher for the care of said Rainbow Dash, should it require anything not covered under general equestrian healthcare. Please include an itemized list. The funding will be taken from aforementioned assets' royal stipends, and at your leisure, you may demand and have enforced basic first aid lessons be attended by one Twilight Sparkle. Her Royal Highness, Princess Celestia, Raiser of the Sun, Defender of Equestria, etc., etc. To my faithful student Twilight Sparkle, knowing one's limits and careful practice of uncertain skills are indeed very important lessons, which I'm glad you are learning, but I do hope in the future you need not learn them at the expense of the well-being of yourselves or others. Twilight, should Rainbow Dash require any additional healthcare, it will be provided from your stipend, and you may require to attend a basic unicorn's first aid course at your very own expense from Ponyville General. Friendship is one thing, but I take very seriously in the well-being of all my little ponies. Your loving mentor, Princess Celestia. Dear Anon, while I know my students may be difficult to dissuade from a set course once decided, and while I know that you are not under any order nor requirement to mind my students and police her actions, if you have reason to believe she is a genuine danger to herself or others, please contact me immediately using the enclosed pre-prepared missive simply by tearing the pink tab from the blue bar. I will send a representative if I cannot attend myself as soon as possible. Also, while I do not approve of violence, I understand it is necessary. Kindly smack my student upside the head the next time she decides to use high-level magic with which she is not certified in a situation that is not life or death. While she demands what you are doing, you are to respond to the ballroom incidents. If you do this without cause, I will smack you. Penned by Her Royal Hotness Celestia.
Letter 15.
Dear Princess White Hot Tamale, today I learned that turning an apple into an orange is not a good counterpoint when someone says you're comparing apples to oranges. It just makes you look like an asshole. I also learned that you can turn apples into oranges, but not the other way around. I'll experiment more with this and probably cause some weird magical fruit singularity. Your living algorithm, Twizzlers.
From Her Royal Hotness Hot Tamale, RE Letter 15.
To my faithful student Twilight Sparkle. Twilight, I look forward to your dissertation on the unique properties of edible-to-edible transmutations and transformations as soon as it is ready. And I remind you again that casting spells to which you have no counterspell should be done with due consideration. I also warn you that while the apples are related to oranges, they tend to take exception to it being extended to their crops, but for the love of literature, do not attempt to convert any tree-born fruit into a pear in their presence. Do not. Do not, Twilight. Your loving mentor, Princess Celestia. P.S. Do not. Dear Anon, Luna turned an even more interesting shade of purple when I asked about how you've been sleeping lately. If you are truly that pent-up, I can recommend a few magazines that I'm fairly certain my subjects don't realize I know exist. Perhaps you need a mere friend? Penned by Her Royal Hotness Celestia.
Letter 16.
Dear Princess Celestia, Anon is sick, so I'm having Spike write this. I found it amusing how eager Anon was to permanently take over transcribing for me, but Spike was just as happy. Today, I learned that no matter how hard you try, you can't help some pony who doesn't want it, and trying to force help upon them will only lead to conflict. Yesterday, I wanted to help Fluttershy organize her house into something more spatically efficient. In theory, I thought she would welcome more room for animals, but she preferred comfort over efficiency. I didn't believe her at first, so I rearranged her furniture while she slept. This morning, she spent 2 hours looking for her snake flutes before confronting me. I relented and helped her return her home to its previous state of minor disarray. Despite my poor judgment, she forgave me and our bond of friendship remained strong. Your faithful student, Twilight Sparkle. P.S. Anon says to tell Luna hi.
From Tia, RE Letter 16.
To my faithful student Twilight Sparkle. Respecting a friend's preferences when they are not harmful to that friend's well-being is an important part to keeping any friends. You have learned a very important lesson, not only in friendship, but in life, and I am proud of you. I'm glad Spike made it back safely. I know that he missed you. Your loving mentor, Princess Celestia. Dear Anon, I hope you're feeling well by the time you get this letter. I do rather miss your wit, and I continue to wonder as to why my student does not write her own letters from time to time. Remember, though you are not a native citizen, you are free to visit any equestrian hospital for general healthcare and be treated without charge. Should you not be feeling better by next week, do be sure to visit. I did take the liberty of making the results of those basic health scans available as a baseline to the local hospital. I hope you feel better. Celestia.
Letter 17.
Dear Princess Big Horse, today I learned that teleporting a sleeping stallion to use as changeling bait is seen as morally questionable by literally everyone. My basic sense of right and wrong was apparently removed to make more room for more books. One of the rogue changeling queens has been captured, and I'm pretending to regret the methods I used to accomplish this. Shiny Heiny is uninjured, but will suffer from another minor case of extreme mental trauma and will likely never trust again. Your public safety hazard, Twisted Sister.
From Her Royal Highness Big Horse, RE Letter 17.
To my faithful student Twilight Sparkle. Twilight, do you remember when we had that talk when you were young about your brother's ogres and oubliettes game and the difference between wisdom and intelligence? To recall, intelligence, of which you have plenty, is knowing that you could probably catch a changeling using your brother's great love for yourself and Princess Cadence as bait. Wisdom is realizing why you shouldn't. I'm glad to hear that you regret the choice in the end, but you've possibly permanently damaged Shining Armor's trust in you, Twilight. I'm also afraid to say that Cadence wants a word from you. I hope you learn an even more important lesson from all of this about the importance of trust and consent. Your loving mentor, Princess Celestia. Dear Cadence, I don't blame you, and I agree. Twilight appears to need some actual psychological evaluation, but we both know that she means well. She just has prioritization issues at times. As an apology to your husband, I've arranged for a voucher to the Royal Enchanter should he wish to have additional work done without charge on a charm or armor to help him feel safe again. If you have the contact details of any certified pony that's left willing to attempt to act as a therapist for Twilight, please compose a list and send it to me at your convenience. There are none with more than a year or two of experience in Canterlot that's willing to accept appointments with a young mare since the quesadilla incident. Your loving aunt, Celestia.